Hi. I probably should stop doing my intros like that. I'm gonna get hurt one day. I'm gonna fall right and just like crack my head open. Hey everyone, my name's Austin, and today I'm gonna be discussing this baby, Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I was really stoked to pick this up, especially with this shiny little sticker right here. Signed copy. Not to brag, but I'm gonna brag a little bit because yes, it is a tradition. I have to do that. I got my Tiffyos copy signed. I bought it like the first week it came out, and I had no idea what it was, honestly. Everyone was like, pick it up, and I was like, okay. And I saw me and that freaking signed copy of Tiffyos, we locked eyes at Kroger. And we're like, oh, we need each other. So I picked it up, and there you go. Now it's a tradition. Now I have to get it signed. And so I got it signed, and I'm very happy. If you haven't heard what this book is about, which it's kind of weird. Why would you look in this video? I mean, I'll tell you the synopsis, whatever. First, we're introduced to this girl named Aza. She's 16 and she's dealing with anxiety and OCD, and it's like really wreaking havoc on her brain. All the while, her childhood friend Davis, his father goes missing, and he's a billionaire, and basically there's a warrant out for his arrest because he was accused of bribery for like government officials to finish his project. And so the day before like they're gonna come arrest him, whatever, he disappears. And now there's $100,000 reward out if they find him. And so that's basically the subplot, because her friend Daisy and her are going on this hunt to find Davis's dad and get that money because they're like kind of broke and they need the money. So yeah. There we go. If you haven't read the book, you probably should leave because I'm about to spoil it. That's kind of what happens in discussions. You talk about the book and anyway, you should leave. I'm gonna spoil it. Not everything, but you get it. Leave. I'm guessing that since now we left, I guess we should dive right in and talk about the elephant in the room. Oh my god. Her thought spirals, I cannot even begin to describe how I opened this book. I read it within 2 days. It's not like I read like a bigger book. His books always have this huge weight on it. And I don't know how. I don't know how he fits all that weight into like 300 pages, but he does. And I feel very drained. It kind of like, her anxiety, her thought spirals just kind of got to me because back in my freshman year of college, I had the same kind of anxiety where it was so bad. I was like in a really bad place in my life anyway. I would have this I would have pain in my knuckles, and I've never had that pain before. It was like really bad, and probably because it was in my mind, so I would think about it and it would get worse. I would look up at the internet, like WebMD, I would look it up, and it would be like, okay, you have cancer, you have the HIV, you have this, and I would go insane. My thoughts would just spiral. I would take myself to urgent cares and all that kind of stuff. So I get it. Like, I haven't had that type of anxiety in a long time, and seeing it come back, it was very, not triggering because it didn't upset me, but it was very uncomfortable. Like, I was reading it and I was like, oh no. I was trying to like push it up, but it was actually her thoughts, and it was just, I was really excited to see how like she was gonna battle with that. I love Daisy. Daisy and her relationship is amazing. They're like polar opposites, but they are like this. And you have Daisy over here, she's very hyperactive, fast speaker like I am. You have Aza over here, and she's just like, yeah. If we didn't have Daisy in this story, I think Aza would get on my nerves. Well, and also, if we had Daisy as the main character, she would get on my nerves too. It's a good balance out. We gotta have that balance. When we got introduced to Davis, I'm gonna call it Ava, sometime, like, it's confusing. So we found out that Davis lost his mom, and Aza lost her dad. And so they met at this My Parent Died camp, and they became friends after that, and got older, and they kind of just trailed off, and now they're back together because of this whole, reward thing. And Davis has a pretty good, he knows that, like, that's the only reason they're there. Although Aza's not really there for it, she kind of is, but whatever. I was not expecting them to get together. If that's what you call it, because they don't want to call it a Ferris wheel, or a spade. Like, I don't know, like, I guess I didn't, the relationship, like, whatever we were experiencing between them, I didn't feel it. Like, I guess it was kind of just a side thing too, like, okay, we're together, blah blah blah. But here, like, it was all about her mind, honestly. So you have all these like little subplots and everything. When they started kissing, and she started talking about all the bacteria and everything, like, being exchanged, and I was like, oh, I've never thought about kissing like that. Like, okay, so I'm traumatized. Thank you, Asa. But then she was doing that, and then she had to like go upstairs, and then she was in the bathroom, and she just swallows hand sanitizer. I would. So it made sense to her, and her thoughts were telling her, yeah, you should drink it, eat it, whatever. I love how he integrated how the anxiety was speaking to her. All of a sudden, like, you would have this intrusive thought, what she called it, and it would be in italics, and it would just interrupt her, and it would just, she would fight against it, and it would have the upper hand, and it would always win her over, because she had that, when those thoughts come into your mind, you want to push them away, but you also have this, like, anxious feeling, like, what if I push it away, and it's actually necessary for me to be worried about? So it's really hard to battle that kind of thing. So I liked how he did that, and I liked how she kind of just felt numb, because like she didn't feel like she was a person. She just felt like she was a something that was made out of all these other different lives, which the personalization or characterization that he did of Asa was really, really well done. So let's get to the climax. When they have that wreck, her and Daisy were fighting, and I didn't like that. I was already beating in this, and I'm in a car reading this, and then they get into an accident, and I'm like, then she loses Harold. Was it Harold? I hope it was Harold. She loses the car, and then she has a lacerated liver. She loses her dad's phone, and then she's in the hospital. So fortunately, her and Daisy like recoup and everything. That's nice, but after all that turmoil, like all of the stuff she's already encountered in this past semester in her high school career, that has to take a big toll. And so when we have that one scene where her mom is asleep near her and she's like breathing, she's like, oh my god, the bacteria is like in my face, like, and you have this it's the whole page. I don't even remember where it's on. I can't even find it. I don't know. Just the whole page is like her and her anxiety fighting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it really speaks to me because I've had those, like, I hate to like reflect it back to myself, but it's just really how I felt about this novel. It's like I remember sitting in my bed sometimes and I would just like think about what you gotta do this, and it was just, once you keep going down that, there's like no way of getting back out. Like you cannot convince yourself to like not do it after you've had this argument. And so when she gets up and does the hand sanitizer thing, like I was not surprised. I was like, she's not gonna fight. Like after all this has happened, what? And so she's down it, her mom catches her, but who's gonna say she's not gonna do it next time? Like, what the heck? And so when she finally has that like one-on-one with her psychiatrist, it was like a big just sigh of relief, because she's like, okay, I'll do the meds, I'll work on myself, I could be better. Like, you don't have to take medicine to better yourself or to conform, but like for some people it does help them. I'm glad that she actually like was like, okay, let me just try it. But yeah, the ending, I was not expecting his dad to be dead. Like, I was expecting them to find him and like have some kind of like uplifting factor, but obviously, you know, with John's books, like there's no happy ending. No. I mean, you have like the bittersweet happy ending with his books, but I don't know why I thought about that, because it kind of just disappointed myself. Not like it was disappointing the book, but like myself. Like I was like, why did you think that? Because now I'm sad. And the fact that when they went, now that was like a fun little fluff that they had after the hospital thing, and how she was like rehabilitating from all that kind of stuff and like bettering herself, to that little art show, that was really nice. But when they found out like where his body was at the mouth of the river, which I didn't even think about, but I mean, I saw it and I was like, I didn't think it was that important, but apparently it was really important because they kept mentioning it. I should have known. But the fact that they were standing there near his body and they could smell it, and she had to tell him, and she's like, I smelled it, did not smell good. And when she said that, I was like, yep, he's dead. That's great. The fact that he like is leaving and like getting on his feet just said a lot about his character. He is strong and he has to take care of his brother, but I cannot imagine losing both your parents at that age, 16, like, and you have to go off and move to a different state, and your dad leaves all your funds to this freaking reptile. But it did end on a really good note. Like, it was a very bittersweet, happy note that they reflected back that no one says goodbye, and wait, what was it? Let's see. And no one ever says goodbye unless they want to see you again, which is that rekindled from, or was, you know, you know what I mean? They were like referencing it to the previous part of the, you know what I'm talking about. It was a good reference. It was, because you know that they're gonna see each other again, and I was very happy. But I enjoyed it. Like, I'm curious to know like what you guys think of it too, because it's a very interesting. Like, I've never really read a book that focused like centrally on mental illness. Like, it's been a part of it, but the main story was like on the relationship, but this was just like her relationship with her mind and herself and that inner demon and everything, which was I liked it. Like, I never seen a book like that, and like I really applaud his work in like bringing mental illness into light, and I think we should have more books like this. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah.
That wasn't a good outro. I don't know what I could like just jump out of the chair instead. Would that be cool? Like, no, I'm not gonna do that.